Hello everyone, I'm Meteorologist Charlie Ironmonger. Thank you so much for joining me today for your 10 a.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. Now we've got news out of Greenville where affordable housing, at least the initiative around affordable housing, is set to break ground. The city of Greenville is holding the groundbreaking ceremony coming up this morning. Well, it happened earlier this morning at 9 to launch its 50 in 10 affordable housing initiative. Now, the goal of the initiative is to bring 50 new affordable housing units to the West Greenville neighborhood over the next 10 years. Now, a ceremony celebrating the beginning of the initiative is being held at 909 Cherry Street, where many of the new homes will be built. Now, the homes will be built by students of the Pitt Community College's Construction and Industrial Division, offering them hands-on experience and workforce development while serving the community. Now, the homes will be constructed on PCC's campus and then be moved to the city-owned parcels near West 6th Street, including spots where Davis Street intersects with Cherry and Imperial Streets. The project is a collaborative effort involving partnerships with the City of Greenville, Pitt County, Greenville Utilities Commission, ECU Health, and private donors Parker and Becky Overton. And now we want to turn our attention to the ongoing Jeffrey Epstein fallout that has now gotten a new chapter as the DOJ has released the transcripts from the interview it held with Ghislaine Maxwell. NBC's Hallie Jackson has more.
New fallout this morning for the Trump White House over the Jeffrey Epstein case after the Justice Department released transcripts and audio of its closed-door interview last month with Epstein accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell. The family of one of Epstein's most prominent accusers now outraged, they say, by the DOJ's decision to speak with the convicted sex trafficker who's serving a 20-year sentence. The relatives of Virginia Giuffre, who died by suicide in April, arguing the interview has given Maxwell a platform to rewrite history, calling it a travesty of justice that entirely invalidates the experiences of many brave survivors. Some Democrats argue Maxwell is not credible.
She wants a pardon. She says exactly what her lawyers tell her is going to be necessary to get a pardon. No one should be surprised here.
Maxwell's attorney calling the congressman flat out wrong. Her interview last month conducted by Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, President Trump's former personal lawyer.
By you meeting with us today, we're really just meeting. I'm not promising to do anything.
Maxwell repeatedly denying she'd ever seen President Trump engage in anything inappropriate.
I never witnessed the president in any inappropriate setting in any way. The president was never inappropriate with anybody. In the times that I was with him, he was a gentleman in all respects.
Epstein died by suicide in prison in 2019 while awaiting trial on sex trafficking charges during the president's first term. The Justice Department has reaffirmed Epstein was not murdered, though Maxwell said she thinks otherwise, and threw cold water on speculation her former boyfriend maintained a client list. All of it following the DOJ's release of more than 30,000 pages of documents related to Epstein, following a subpoena from the House Oversight Committee, even as top Democrats say the vast majority of the material is already public. The president asked about the file's release Friday.
I'm in support of keeping it totally open. I couldn't care less. You got a lot of people that it could be mentioned in those files that don't deserve to be.
And again, that was NBC's Hallie Jackson reporting. We now turn to your weather forecast, where today we are anticipating a few coastal showers, particularly for those of you watching along the Crystal Coast, coming up later on this afternoon. Now, of course, we are going to be seeing a weak boundary, a weak cold front work its way through the east today, and that's what's going to help spark some of those rain showers. Right now, you can clearly see we've got a stronger front off of our coast, that big line of clouds that stretches essentially from Canada all the way down towards the Bahamas. That is a very large front, but it's also a nice protector from Fernand that is continuing to work its way into the northern Atlantic. We'll have more details on that coming up in the next few minutes, but do want to, again, highlight what is currently happening over eastern North Carolina. Mostly clear skies right now throughout the east. Washington right now enjoying blue skies overhead. Northwesterly wind coming in at about 6 miles an hour. Current air temperatures around 81 degrees. Feels like 84, though, when you factor in that 71-degree dew point. Humidity present yet again, but that will be changing over the next several days. From today into tomorrow, we're going to be seeing dew points drop by about 5 to 10 degrees. I think most areas will drop closer to that 5-degree range, but some areas will see more significant change with your humidity levels from today into tomorrow and then through kind of the rest of the week. Right now, no rain showers coming down. Air temperatures in the low 80s throughout most of eastern North Carolina. Still seeing again a few of us in the upper 70s. You got 78 degrees in Plymouth, 77 in Manteo, 78 in Ahoskie. We've got 75 in Roanoke Rapids. The rest of eastern North Carolina currently at that 80-degree mark or warmer. Now, humidity, unfortunately, remains high, but this is going to be changing again over the next several days. Over the past 24 hours, it's largely held fairly steady. A few areas have actually seen an increase in humidity, but most of us, again, are pretty much within the range we were at yesterday. Now, the big catalyst for the change, the reason for it, these north to northwesterly winds going to help bring in some of that cooler air. Right now, the wind speed's not impressive. About 4 to 8 mile-an-hour winds, certainly not going to blow your hair around all that much, but the consistency of the breeze is what is important. Take a look at what we're going to be tracking humidity-wise. There's that big push of cooler and drier air into eastern North Carolina that will be with us through your Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Get ready for, again, a very comfortable stretch of weather here in eastern North Carolina coming up over the next several days. Today is kind of that last day where we see dew points in the 70s. Coming up for tomorrow, those dew points are going to be in the mid-60s. Day after that, on Wednesday, we're looking at low 60s. So again, drying air is going to make things feel much more comfortable as we approach next weekend. Do want to say good morning to Darnett Gardner. Thank you so much for joining me over on Facebook. Again, here's a look at some of those rain showers along the coast. Again, if you guys have any questions, please feel free, throw them over on our Facebook comments page. We are monitoring those as we do these live. But again, for today, coastal rain expected. Higher chance of rain for those of you watching closer to the coast than what we'll say for more inland areas. Wilson, Rocky Mount, Tarboro, you guys are largely going to remain dry, whereas those of you watching around Surf City, Swansboro, Pelletier, Atlantic Beach, all the way up towards Ocracoke and Hatteras, you guys could be seeing a better opportunity for rain showers, not only for today, but even through the early hours of tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon. Again, maybe a few stray drops on the eastern side of Highway 17, but again, it's not going to be widespread or really all that long lasting. Just a kind of few hit and miss rain showers. I certainly think you'll get more miss than hit for those of you watching again on the western side of 17. Now, a quick checkup on the tropics. Tropical storm Fernand, 50 mile-an-hour maximum sustained winds, gusts at 65 miles an hour, moving north, that's the most important thing, at 12 miles an hour. This is a system that's going to be moving into the northern Atlantic here over the next few days, dropping from a tropical storm to a post-tropical low from Tuesday afternoon into Wednesday morning. So no real concerns there. The other system that had been being tracked by the National Hurricane Center right now is on its way out. It's in the eastern Caribbean, has a 0% chance of tropical formation over the next 48 hours and over the next 7 days. So no concern there. What had been a fairly active Atlantic a couple days ago is now looking a little bit calmer. And that's something, again, we can all enjoy. Now, speaking of enjoy, take a look at those overnight lows in the mid 60s, low 60s, even the upper 50s. This is going to be a very comfortable stretch of weather. You know, back in July when we were going through the multiple heat waves and the high humidity, I know in the Weather Center I was certainly kind of dreading August, but so far this month has been a complete 180. We've seen a lot more of the drier air and the kind of cooler than average air temperatures this month than what we had over the previous month. Of course, the end of the month is coming up. We've got 81 degrees for Sunday, 83 on Saturday, and then we get into Labor Day, start of September. Coming up on Monday, 83 degrees will come with, again, about a 30% chance of rain. Well, that's all we have time for today's 10 a.m. News and Weather Update from the First Alert Desk. I want to thank you all so much for joining me. We'll be back with more news and weather coming up at the top of the hour. Until then, I hope you all have a wonderful day.
This hour of the WITN First Alert Desk is sponsored by ENC Pirate Realty.